Hello, everyone. Okay, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but today I'm going to be doing another tag team live stream. Ugh, I got too much stuff going on. Another video game scored review. This one's going to be of Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster. This game was, well, the original version was developed and published by Square Enix, and this version was developed and published by Square Enix. Now, in the scored reviews, I base my score on 5 categories, which is the story, the graphics, the music and sound effects, the gameplay and controls, and the achievement system, since this is the Xbox version. Now for the story, of the 3 that I've played so far, 1, 2, and 3, this one's got the most fleshed out story. And to be honest, the way it progresses is a little like subtle. Then you think you know where you're going, then it kind of makes a left turn in the outfield kind of situation. So it's got a lot of twists and turns in it. The story overall is really good. My only complaint with the story in this is, in the first one, there really wasn't much story, and there really wasn't much character interaction, so you couldn't build off of it. And in the second one, the story was great, and the characters were great, but the gameplay was bleh. This one, the gameplay is phenomenal, in terms, especially considering this is the third one that was of the NES generation. But all the main characters, all 4 of them, are generic. So whoever, using left and LB and RB, you can switch between the characters who's up front. Whoever's up front is technically the one that talks, but you really don't build a bond with the characters you play with. And you bond more with the NPCs you come in contact with, like, as a person, than you do, a lot more than you do the lead characters. Now for the graphics, this is another one of those situations where if you like pixelated graphics, and I do, Square Enix did a phenomenal job upgrading these to a higher bit rate and a bit more detail in the graphics. And a lot of the gameplay effects, like in combat or like when events are occurring, are very well done with their update. So overall, the graphics are phenomenal if you like this stylization of graphics. For a lot of people, they don't like it. And for the music and sound effects, as with almost all of them, Nobuo Uematsu was the person that originally came up with the scores for these. And I think I saw that he was the one that worked on the songs for updating the songs in this one. And I always give him a straight 10 out of 10. I have not came across a single song he's made that I've outright hated. There's been like 1 or 2 that I kind of got tired of listening to him, but I think that's because I played that specific Final Fantasy game many, many times. But overall, the music, amazing. The sound effects for the weapons and stuff were updated as well to this version. So they also did a great job with the sound effects for this. The gameplay and controls, okay, this is where this game really shines. Controls overall, I'm just going to be straightforward. It's simple. It's a simple turn-based RPG where you and your opponents put in all your commands and everybody acts in one round, and that's it. I'll show it here inside the Ancient's Maze, which is not the final dungeon, but it is pretty close. I am using an upgraded Onion Knight. Like, they are fully leveled up, so they have max stats, max health, and a crap ton of defense and magic defense and stuff like that. But you have to work really hard to get your Onion Knight to be that powerful. Now, as you see here, it's very simple. It's basic controls. Move around the map, confirm, cancel, and as you'll see here, it's just like simple commands. Now, where the gameplay comes in, this is where I think they did a great job. Now, if you loved the first one because of the option to be able to play through the game with the 6 different classes, and you can change and replay through the game, the story doesn't change in the first one, but you can change up how the game works by selecting 4 different classes. Well, in this one, they simplified it so that you could do everything in one playthrough, and at the same time, every character can be any job. Which, as you progress through the game and come across the different crystals and stuff like that, and Sage and Ninja are only unlocked in very specific dungeon, which, since you get the key for it in the main story, I've posted as part of the main story, even though you can skip it. I'm not going to cover that. But each class is completely different. You start off with the Onion Knight, which, when you start the game, is practically worthless, but once you hit around level 90, then their stats start going off the chart. But then you got your basic frontline, defender, your damage dealer, your healer, your magic damage dealer, your jack of all trades, and then your ranged character. And then as you progress, you get the stronger version of the warrior. A character that's used for stealing and unlocking doors, which makes things a whole lot easier in certain dungeons. You don't have to buy magic keys. I did not find much that was worth actually stealing in this game. Scholar, which basically is only useful for like one scenario. Geomancer's interesting. I personally didn't care for it. Dragoon's kind of a hit or miss. I preferred the other later classes, but I mean, it has a jump command that deals extra damage, I think, if you're using spears. It's very useful for one specific battle. Viking is like a high-end defender. Black Belt's like a master of damage. Dark Knight is a high damage dealer with AoE attacks. Evoker is your very first summoning class in all Final Fantasy. This is where this class started from. Same thing with most of these classes, but Evoker was the first time that you start seeing summons in the game. Bard is like a thief, but instead he uses instruments. No stealing, but song powers that do different effects. Magus is the upgraded magic damage dealer. Devout's the upgraded white magic user, healer. Summoner is the more refined Evoker, but it's all straight damage, whereas the Evoker has 2 effects that the summon can do each time. Sage is basically your master of all magic trades. It can use any spell in the game. And Ninja is your master of all physical trades. It can use any weapon and armor in the game, literally, except for the Onion Gear. And he can also throw shurikens, which deal a high amount of damage. So overall, this game does a phenomenal job of giving you options, of enjoying the different ways you can approach certain battles, some maps, certain bosses, certain builds, team builds can like make things very trivial. So overall, the gameplay phenomenal. Final Fantasy V builds on this, which I will cover when I get the 5. So overall, the controls are simple and easy to use, and the gameplay is phenomenal. It doesn't have a whole lot of detailed stuff like the word system from 2 and some of the other things, but overall, great in the game controls and mechanics. Now for the achievements, it's like the last 2. It's progressing through the story. It is battles, This one, you actually have to unlock all the summon spells. Um, you have to unseal all the legendary weapons. And there was like another one that was very unique, but I forget what it was. So overall, its progression and 100% completion is like all the achievements in this game. So overall, it's not bad, but it's not the best option for some of the achievements. So overall, I will definitely say that I give this game, I honestly want to say an 8 out of 10. I haven't played this one in a long time, and I only played the DS remake one time, which I think they should have kept the freelancer job in this, and the Onion Knight job is a bonus. But they wanted to keep it as close to the original as possible, which I get. I just wish these Pixel remasters would come out with DLC that brought back all the additional stuff added on with the remakes and the remasters and stuff they've done over the years. So 8 out of 10 with a game with a great story, with some memorable and with memorable NPCs, but not so much lead characters. The music and sound effects are amazing. The gameplay and controls, well, the controls simple, the gameplay awesome. They did a great job with this. The graphics for the style it is, they did a great job, and the achievements are very well balanced. There isn't a whole lot I can complain about here, so 8 out of 10, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And with all things gaming, game logic, am I right? Catch you all later.